Welcome to the High Ticket Success Podcast, where premium coaches, consultants, and advisors come for bold strategies, big breakthroughs, and real results. I'm your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey folks, welcome back. Let me ask you a question. Are you kind of sick and tired of having the constant churn of clients coming in and going out every 2, 3, 4, 5 months? That ticks a person off a lot. There goes so much time and effort goes into enrolling a new client. You want to keep them long term. And you know that the best way you can serve them is long term as well. Well, our guest today is Jay Fairbrother, and he is an expert on doing exactly that, turning people from 3-month clients into 3-year clients, specifically using masterminds. So Jay, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks, Dave. Pleasure to be here.
All right. So I kind of built things up a little bit there for you, but maybe let's zoom out for a second and tell me a little bit about what is your definition of a mastermind, because I've been part of quite a number of them, different flavors, different ways, different in-person, virtual, all this kind of stuff. Maybe what does mastermind mean to you?
Yeah, so right away you hit on two things that are important to distinguish. One is that there's no one way to create a mastermind. There's no cookie cutter approach to masterminding. But the other is that in our world of thought leaders, speakers, healers, coaches, I'd say about 75% of what is out there labeled as a mastermind is really just glorified group coaching. But people put a mastermind label on it because that's a little...
Yeah, okay, so there you go. So you got me curious. What is the difference between a mastermind and group coaching?
Yeah. So going back to the origin of the word, 90 years ago, Napoleon Hill coined the term. And his concept was very simple. You put one person with a brain in a room, second person with a brain, creates this third invisible, intangible force that he labeled the mastermind. Imagine putting 8 to 14 brains in the same room, the size of the invisible, intangible force. When you tap into the collective experience, collective knowledge, and collective wisdom of everyone in the room. So one way to distinguish between what is a mastermind versus a course or group coaching type program is in courses and group coaching, it's typically just a one-to-guru relationship, right? You're on the stage, you're the center of the attention, you're training, you're coaching, you're mentoring. Maybe you have hot seats and Q&A, but that's about the extent of it. In a mastermind, what's important is that the participants in the room build relationships with each other. And so part of the key is to create a container to allow those relationships to develop and, more importantly, foster them so that you can get into these deeper conversations. You can get people to drop the egos, drop the masks, open up, be vulnerable. And that activates that invisible, intangible force where people are supporting each other. And it's not just about the guru and what you're teaching and training.
All right. Yeah, that's a very good distinction there. It's been a while since I've read Think and Grow Rich. So good reminder to revisit that. That's for sure. So Jay, sounds great. I guess one of the questions coming up would be, I think you touched on this. What's the ideal size of a mastermind group, and what's the ideal, who should be in that group and who shouldn't be in the group?
Yeah. So Napoleon Hill's original concept, right? And there's a reason I used 8 to 14. That's the small cohort sort of mastermind. It's not an open revolving door. It's something where people literally build those relationships over time. So that at the end of the initial commitment that they signed up for, 6 months, 12 months, the people don't want to leave because of the relationships they've now built with the other people in the cohort, right?
So it's not even so much about the guru or the guy who's in charge or gal who's in charge. It's more about their
Exactly. Like, I love these people so much, I don't want to leave this group. I'll renew for another year and another year because you continue to foster and deepen the relationship. So that's sort of the original cohort model mastermind. But I would say 75% of my clients that I help create these programs create what I call a hybrid program, which is really just a cross between the group coaching model and the mastermind model. And the reason is because most people are still going to sign up for a high ticket program and invest 5, 10, 15, $25,000 a year because they still want your thought leadership. They still want some of your mentoring, coaching, and training. The difference is that you also activate the group mastermind part of it in these hybrid programs so that you keep, so that it's not like a course or a group coaching program. It's like, okay, 3 months and the program's done. Thank you. I'm moving on.
Right. Okay. So thinking as a guru, let's say I set up a 6-month program. What would be the typical length of program? Is it a year, 6 months? What do most of your clients do?
It honestly depends on where you're at starting out. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the ideal is to get people to commit for a year. But
Yeah.
some people, because maybe they don't have the credibility, authority, or they haven't done enough up front to build know, love, and trust versus know, like, and trust.
Okay.
You might want to start with a 4 or 6 month program or a beta, program to start, and then roll people into a full year.
Okay, good. So let's say there's a coach or a guru out there who says, okay, I can see the 4-month program, 6-month program, maybe even a year, but I don't have that much more stuff to teach them after that. We're going to be pretty much done. So how do I do the next year and the year after?
That's the beauty of masterminding, right? Is that it's not dependent on your content. And, like for me, I'm not a prolific content creator, right? So the idea for me of even creating 12 months of content would keep me up at night.
Yeah.
But I know that in a mastermind, when I create the container properly and put the right people into it, there's less dependence on my content and training, and that can evolve over time, and you grow with the group, and you sense what the group needs and deliver on that.
Very cool. What do you find in your experience works best as far as frequency of meeting with people?
So it depends, first of all, in person and virtual, right?
Let's say either or. Let's say,
Yeah.
give us an example in person, one in virtual.
Yeah. So I run 3 masterminds of my own. I have a local in-person mastermind here in Pittsburgh of entrepreneurs. We meet once a month, but it's a 3 to 4 hour meeting because we're making the effort to get together. We want to maximize our time together, and that's good, right? 3 to 4 hours on Zoom, that's pushing it. Yeah. So most virtual masterminds are meeting anywhere from every week to every other week for like a 90-minute, 2-hour meeting. And that's sort of the most common frequency.
Okay, very good. And in your experience, Jay, because I've been part of both. I've been part of online masterminds and in-person masterminds. Which one do you see has the longest stick rate typically?
Nothing can beat in person. Yeah. I've been in many, many masterminds for 25 years. I was in a single mastermind for 17 years in person, right? Because every month I got value from being in that group. So nothing can replace that in-person experience. But thanks to, the pandemic and people's comfort now on Zoom, we can get pretty damn close in virtual meetings.
Nice. So Jay, have you seen any kind of coaches or consultants where a mastermind really doesn't make that much sense?
If I talk to 10 people, or if I talk to 100 people, there's probably only a 5 out of 100 that I can't figure out a perfect mastermind model for them. My brain just goes there now. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
It's really, a lot of people think masterminds are just for entrepreneurs. But this whole concept of getting to work with people long time, for a longer time period, and getting those deeper transformations, if you're a life coach, a healer, a mindset coach, like, to me, it's even more perfect for those types of environments. The key thing is creating the container, because what a lot of people who aren't doing business coaching will say to me is, Jay, my people, they want one-on-one. They're talking about really personal stuff. They're not going to open up in a group.
Yeah.
And I beg to differ with my 25 years of seeing people open up in groups. But it's about creating the container, because you have to be very intentional about creating psychological safety. So mutual respect, confidentiality, commitment to show up and participate. Those kinds of things don't happen overnight. And that's why it takes a little bit of time to develop that group dynamic, to develop that psychological safety and get people to the place where the real magic that Napoleon Hill, envisioned happens.
And when it comes to price points for mastermind groups, what do you usually recommend to people that are getting started with this whole idea?
Well, it's all over the board.
Yeah.
But like you promote, high ticket is the answer to everything in terms of building a coaching business. Because without a high ticket offer, you are stuck in that client churn. They're stuck in the hamster wheel of doing lunches after lunches and needing thousands of people coming into your funnel. And when you have a high ticket program, with a $10,000 program, you need 10 people to create a six-figure business. And, so what I encourage people to do as soon as possible in their business, get rid of all the complexity, have a high ticket mastermind and one good downsell for the people who aren't ready or can't, invest at that level, simplify the business model, and, lead with the high ticket program. So almost
Very good.
anyone
And you
can do it.
And you run more than one. You can have more, like if you want more than a $100,000 a year business, you can have multiple masterminds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And in the hybrid model, like in my client mastermind, we have 40 people in it right now. But if you ask any one of those 40 people, does it feel intimate and do they feel like they're in a mastermind? They're going to say yes.
And I would imagine you're doing that online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So how did you first kind of come across this whole mastermind concept, and why did you decide to focus exclusively on this?
So I'm a serial entrepreneur for 30 years. I started my first business 30 years ago, grew it to $1 million revenue and got stuck there, and hired coaches, consultants, read all the business books, couldn't get beyond that sort of $1 million range. And that's when I joined my first mastermind. That was 25 years ago. And in that first mastermind, I saw this human connection. I saw, grown men opening up and crying, talking about their screwed up marriages and kid problems and anxiety and depression, which wasn't what we signed up for. Yeah. But I was all in at that point and started joining every mastermind I could. So as a result of that, I 10x'd my first business, grew it to 10 million, sold it. And so I've been in masterminds for 25 years. I believe it is by far the best of value and the best learning and transformation that I've gotten as an entrepreneur. And then, there's a whole backstory of me losing everything after the financial crisis and living in a basement after being a multimillionaire. And that mastermind I was in for 17 years, literally those people pulled me through that time period. Oh. Yeah. So, those are the reasons I'm passionate about it.
Makes sense. Jay, I'm sure there's going to be lots of people listening or watching this would like to find out more about you and the whole mastermind thing. Where should they go?
Easiest thing is get to my website, sixfiguremasterminds.com. If you can't find that, I'm pretty easy to find on the internet with Jay Fairbrother. I'm not hard to get.
Sounds good. Well, hey, Jay, thanks very much for being on the show.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, take care. We will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the High Ticket Success Podcast. Want to be featured? Share your story and inspire other premium coaches, consultants, and advisors? Apply now at highticketsuccesspodcast.com/guest.